Besides, we can always edit that later. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was an affirmative. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's give it about a 5, 4, 12, 6, 8. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, summoners and champions? Listen, your people, we're here, Edwin Moles and Chili, with the semifinals of Ryze Up 2012. Oh yeah, hosted by LawReport.com and Insomnium. How excited are you, Chili?
I'm pretty excited. As you can see, I'm wearing my semifinals jacket.
That's right. I have my semifinals jacket as well. Just a little bit of class up in here. And I even have my I Prefer the Plywood shirt underneath. Now, that is an inside joke for those of you that went to high school with me, which are probably many of you, the majority of you watching this video. Now, that's totally fine. I do prefer the plywood. Listen. We're in the lobby right now. We haven't quite started the game. This is the semifinals TKS versus Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail as in the thing that comes out of your butt, not the thing that you tell your children at nighttime to make them fall asleep.
Just one tail.
And or potentially to have completely misguided, images of how relationships should work, like Cinderella and things like that.
That's not real.
Because let's face it. What?
That's not real.
Cinderella?
Yeah.
Dude, do you know about the Easter Bunny?
No. I need to leave.
Oh, man.
I need a moment.
This man. Well, meanwhile, I'm over here going Super Saiyan a little bit just because I wanted to funk with the hair just a bit. And although I am not Goku, I do feel empowered. Alright, I think we are kind of getting ready here. We have, okay, so Fairy Tail's on Team 1, Blue Team. We throw this down in the corner here. We have TKS on Purple Team, Team 2, and we're missing Rekvi right now. Yeah, I think he had to leave to allow somebody to get in and get on the right side. And yeah, we're basically ready to go. There's Rekvi. All right, so Fairy Tail and TKS each have now gone through 6 rounds in this tournament. 6 rounds, 4 rounds of what would it be? 4 rounds of best of 1 single elimination, and 2 rounds of best of 3 single elimination in the round of 16 Ryze bracket. Now there's 4 teams remaining out of 256, and they have been fighting their way, struggling through this tournament to get this far. It's coming down to the wire, man. Because like literally, this is it. I mean, they will get to the finals if they win this. This best of 3 has got to be heart pounding for these teams, and I've actually had a chance to talk with a few of them, and they're nervous. This is big.
I'm nervous for them.
I'm a little nervous for them too.
I'm nervous for both teams.
I'm just excited to see some really good games because these are the top, the cream of the bunch. The cream of the crop?
That's better, yes.
The cream, those bananas are feeling creamy as they fall off the tree.
Oh.
So we're ready. We're getting GLH off all around, and here we are.
Are you in? I'm in.
Bands and picks. We're both in. Chili does have his computer down here, so we can both watch the game at the same time. Again, we don't have sound, which is really unfortunate, because if I put on headphones, it would mess up my hair. And if you put on headphones, it would...
I mean, I'm not sure if my hair can be messed up.
That's definitely a good point. But listen, we're in Vans and Picks. By the way, IM Kiev World Championship did just finish up yesterday, so that was kind of a big... Or today?
It was today.
It was today.
Early in the morning.
That's right. Early in the morning, the finals did just happen. So everyone's kind of gotten a taste of where Moscow 5, the team to beat, unfortunately was not... Well, not unfortunately, but just was not beaten at all in that tournament. Is kind of shifted the meta a little bit, so I'm not completely surprised to see a Mordekaiser ban right off the bat. Now, taking in consideration, if Fairy Tail had seen games by TKS, they would know that Tofu does in fact play Mordekaiser, so that would be a targeted ban. And they could probably also look in his match history and discover that information. We have a Shen ban from TKS, which is no news to anyone. I think by this point. When Moscow 5 did get Shen in that second game against Dignitas in the finals, it was a big player, so...
Of course, the tournament patch was 1 patch behind, so since then he has been hot-fixed.
That's a good point.
But he's still very good. I definitely don't begrudge them for banning Shen.
And he can be just a pain to deal with unless you have a good matchup.
Just the fact that he can turn what should be a kill for one team into a kill for the other team.
Like double kill the other way, yeah. We have Mordekaiser, Shen, Ramus, Kennen, so very aggressive CC. Well, Ramus, Shen, and Kennen are CC-based champions. Mordekaiser not so much, but he obviously put out a lot of damage, and his Ghost, of course, is incredibly powerful. Maokai ban. We do know that Luminios is the jungler for TKS. We actually haven't had a chance to see Fairy Tail play yet.
That's true.
We have more experience with TKS. Do we know Luminios is the jungler for that team, and that he does play Maokai. And I think he actually did so in the last game, in the round of 8. Quarterfinals. against Utterly Smooth. No, that was Team Spaghetti Cat versus Utterly Smooth.
Yes.
Forgive me, that was...
I don't remember.
That's unfortunate.
We could look on our own YouTube channel and find that video.
We could watch ourselves. We got a little videoception here, but actually we're done with the bands. Caston was the last band for TKS, and first pick, almost an immediate lock-in for Udyr, coming from 8 Arbit Rage on Fairy Tail. So definitely knowing what he wants there, and Udyr has been played by Luminios before, so that's... I think that between these bands and the pick there, that's actually a pretty strong kind of jungle control that they've now established over TKS. I think Luminios is going to be forced to pick a jungler he's probably less familiar with. But it looks like we're not even close to junglers right now. TKS wants to get their AD bot and support just locked away right away. So they get Graves and Janna, very powerful combo. Janna was a huge pick at IEM. At IEM Kiev World Championships, and Graves has, of course, always been a very strong AD champion. Back over to Fairy Tail right now. We actually have Akatsuki Angel. So I want to go to these teams right now. We do have Akatsuki Angel. I'm so sorry, Tarek. Usum Sujin.
Usum.
Usum. Let's call him Usum. All right. I think we can get along with that. Usum, Sealy, Atav, Akatsuki Angel. We'll call him Angel, and Arbit Rage.
8 Arbit Rage. 8.
I like just Arbit Rage. I actually really like that name, Arbit Rage. That's really good. Go you. We have Akatsuki Angel on picking up Vayne there, and Usum picking up support Tarek, or what we would assume to be support Tarek. If you don't know, Tarek can actually jungle. It's not done very often at all.
Dude, I haven't seen that.
It's pretty interesting.
But sure, you might be trolling me.
I'm not, but when you have an Udyr pick, the Tarek jungle is probably a little bit less than...
I think just in general it's fairly unlikely. But
leave something to be desired. Anyway, the pick is up to right now to Balls and Luminios. We do have the AP, the jungle, and the top lane remaining to be picked for TKS. Meanwhile... Luminios actually cycling through a couple champions here. Arbit Rage has picked Udyr, a champion that can either go in the jungle or top lane. In fact, I love Udyr top lane.
I think that's...
Udyr...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Alright, this is just probably one of the stronger things about the first pick is they can kind of put him where he needs to be to react to whatever.
He's a strong champion that's very versatile, and I just like Udyr because he can really shut down lane opponents. Also, he's just a boss, you know. He's pretty cool. Balls actually goes ahead and locks in on Cassiopeia, which is definitely not anything new. Tofu's been playing Cassiopeia certainly a lot during this tournament, so champions that they're familiar with. Luminios is so far settled on Nocturne. We'll see whether or not he decides to go on that. I would be a little concerned about Nocturne. So far, the team for TKS has a fair amount of CC, sure, but switch to Shyvana. I like that a lot more. Nocturne's general ability to be tanky and have those resistances is a little less than that of Shyvana, so I'm happy with that pick. I really picked quick enough Soraka on Atav and Sealy. We'll go ahead and grab Ari. What do you think about this?
I'm just trying to figure out. I think probably we're gonna have a switch from Atav here. There we go. Looking for a better jungler. I'm okay with Ari.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Soraka I think was not not really being serious there. Ari is definitely a strong AP champion. Now we have Atav picking up the jungle Skarner, meaning that we're gonna see an Udyr top almost definitely. Yeah. You could switch them, but Skarner top is certainly less popular than Udyr top. And right now we don't actually have a top lane for TKS, so this does give a slight advantage to TKS in the fact that they get to pick their top laner last and pick somebody that's not going to lose really badly, that Udyr.
However, do they see the summoner spells? I can't remember.
They cannot see the summoner spells on either side.
So they don't know as well as we do if Udyr or Skarner will be top.
Right, but
they can certainly suspect.
Both of those will kind of behave the same way. They're melee-based champions, but they do have a speed boost, so they can close distance somewhat fast. But they don't specifically have a gap closer, and that does separate them from other melee tops, certainly. Or any ranged abilities, really. And I think they would also expect that Skarner would be the jungle over here.
Yeah, certainly.
So this does give them the chance to counter pick here. We see Rekviv will be actually the player playing top lane, so we'll find out whether or not he...
If we're looking at CC, for Fairy Tail, I think every single one of these characters has some form of hard CC, whereas on TKS, only Cassiopeia, and then only once in a while.
Yep, and I really a pick for Rekviv. I like it a lot. I really is a strong champion. She's going to have trouble depending on how 8-Bit Rage decides to actually play this. I think that he's going to have a good kind of lane against Irelia for the beginning. couple levels, but Irelia is one of those champions that once she hits her stride, she's really hard to lock down. She can dart all over the battlefield and have a strong presence in lane or in team fights. We're going to see, I think, I'm anticipating a lot of out-of-game lanking. Ahri is really good at ganking side lanes. What?
You said out-of-game lanking.
Did I really?
Yes.
Words. Out-of-lane ganking. Basically, I think that Sealy on Ahri has the capacity to really move to top and bottom lanes and gank those. Cassiopeia to a certain extent as well. Irelia even is pretty good at counter-jungling when the lane is pushed and can also lead to gank other lanes. So I think this is going to be a really mobile game. You have mentioned that all members of Fairy Tail do have a form of CC, hard CC, in fact, and I think that's really good. Vayne's is situational, of course, but
the only ones on TKS are situational, Tofu and Rekvi.
Yeah. And even, yeah, you're right, Tofu is only if they're facing him, it is situational, but I think... Well, let's just look at these teams. We have like a nice front line for TKS, which is what I really like. Luminios, Rekvi are up there. They're melee. They're really, really fast melee champions that have a gap closer. They can do lots of damage. I mean, basically every single member of TKS can do a lot of damage. DN being the only exception, and DN has the capacity to reset an entire fight, which is going to be really powerful against Udyr and Skarner, I think. Which will be, you know, meanwhile forming the front line for Fairy Tail. Both teams just have, yeah... They have a lot of damage and quite a bit of scaling as well. I think that both these teams are pretty dangerous late game. I would actually give Fairy Tail the advantage in late game. Vayne is a hyper carry, of course. Not that Graves isn't powerful in late game, but Udyr and Ahri, of course, is just so hard to lock down, especially when you don't have that CC, as we were talking about.
It looks like they both got some nice peelers. I mean, probably just because Skarner actually has the ability to drag someone away.
Yeah.
I would say he would be that... role. So we can look at for TKS, Balls to Use decided to go with Cleanse, which I mean, he must have obviously noticed that there's a huge amount of CC and suspecting that he's going to be focused, decided he would rather not die to that. So.
It does mean, however, that they don't have a heal in bottom lane.
Yep. So it might hurt them more
and
early on.
A lot of players will pick Cleanse, and then you have that Cleanse against Taric, and that's great, but Taric's on a relatively short cooldown. You're going to cleanse the first one, and by the time the next one comes around, you know, what are you going to do that time?
It's a good kind of, oh crap button. Like, hit it, you might live.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, we do have, one of the advantages that TKS definitely has over Fairy Tail is they have quite a lot of burst and AoE burst, specifically. I mean, if you can catch people in a tornado followed by Cassiopeia using her ult and then bursting on a lot of people, Graves, his Q ult combo, and even the dragon jumping in, I feel like if they can hop on top of Fairy Tail right at the beginning of a team fight, they can really swing it in their favor just thanks to doing a lot of damage in a short period of time. I just realized that these are here right now. Comcast, I'm not actually a huge fan of Comcast. I'm going to get rid of these, but basically Comcast was throttling us the other night, and I took some screenshots just to go and yell at them later and be like, don't do this. It sucks. I hate being throttled. Anyway, so if they get a jump on any member of Fairy Tail, especially a high-profile member like Atsuki on that Vayne, I think they can definitely swing the fight in their favor. But even Ahri has some burst damage.
Yeah,
so.
And the amount of single target from Fairy Tail is pretty significant. And just single target's all well and good, but when you combine it with this many stuns, if they get a stun, they'll have enough damage to kill with no problem. And picks usually lead to winning team fights, so I think that's probably where they're gonna head.
Also, one of the classic descriptions of Cassiopeia as a character is one that we've seen a lot as a counter-initiating character.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that both teams can do fairly well. Skarner and Udyr are both pretty good at turning around fights, and so is Cassiopeia. So I think after all this rambling, we basically ascertained that oh, take us out of the bottom of the screen there. Basically ascertained that both teams have a great potential for team fighting.
Oh, hey, I remember this.
Hey, for team fighting and the like. Sorry about this load screen. It is not, unfortunately, something I have any control over. It has to do with the fact that I play borderless and I also cast borderless, but somewhere in between there, when using XSplit, the computer starts to freak out and give me this. I will be able to correct it as soon as we get in the game, so no big problem there.
Well, since you're missing it, I can tell you we have a lot of skins on TKS. Looks like we got only Shyvana without a skin. And
Fairy Tail actually running the 0 skin team.
Even rarer than the 5 skin team.
Yeah, well, I'm a huge fan of the 0 skin team, showing that you don't need skins to be pro.
That's not true. You need skins to be pro. Don't listen to this man. He's a liar.
and a Vagrant. But listen, we're about to hop up in a game here. I'm really excited to see how these lanes go. I think the most dynamic lane could very well be... Well, we'll see whether or not 8-Bit Rage and Rekfi decide to kind of get into this farm mode, because top lane could be a big swing either way, or it could just be them, you know, auto-farming up there for a while.
Just kind of a truce.
Yeah.
A farm truce.
Celia on Ahri versus Tofu on Cassiopeia mid could be the exact same thing. They could either be just clearing waves, or it could be very swinging in either way. So let's just go ahead and fix this. There we go.
Hey, look at that.
And now you're going to see some really unfortunate blinking, but I can fix that for you in just a second here. To go and do that. Oh, yeah. There we go. We're in the game. Fairy Tail on blue. TKS on purple, and let's see this go. I'm so excited. Wow, the pings are coming out like mad right now. We actually see Fairy Tail tracing a path with their pings up and through the upper jungle of TKS on purple side. Meanwhile, purple side is pinged to protect purple's wraiths. We do have, you know, a Shyvana jungle where we can start pretty much anywhere they like. Skarner, on the other hand, can steal with his team, but otherwise most often starts at wolves and blue.
Mm-hmm. Actually, before you quite fixed your thing, there were a couple pings by TKS at blue wraiths, so it looks like that's where some of them are heading now.
Oh, and it looks like Rekfi, they do have pings for blue team. Rekfi's need to move now. He actually has vision. He actually took a little bit too long to get out of there. We do have Celia laying down some damage, but instead... Oh, and the flash by Rekfi probably not necessary, actually. He could have just run away.
I mean, he could have run away, or he could have not stayed in the bush for so long and gotten caught.
Sure, but at that point, Celia, it was obvious that Celia hadn't taken Charm, so there was nobody within range with hard CC that could slow him down or stop him.
He was afraid of a flash stun from Terra.
Looks like we have a counter invade then. We'll see whether or not, if TKS chooses to take red, which at this point I think is totally a smart option, yet Luminios then moving around, definitely indicating that that's what they want to do. It's going to be trading here, but what I like about this is that what I like about this in TKS's favor is that all of Fairy Tail is right now in the upper jungle helping out with this steal. Bot lane for TKS is going to be able to get to their lane much quicker than Fairy Tail. Actually, we see right now that Atsuki is and Angel knows this and is starting to leave to go bottom as Vayne. Usum Seal up here in Tarak helping out Adav, and actually it doesn't look like they're going to steal red. It does not look like Fairy Tail is going to steal red. Actually, Adav is instead going to go back and get a fairly weak leash. He actually might be going to do blue without any leash. So here's...
Meanwhile, TKS is still trying to steal red, and Vayne's about to discover it.
Yep. And Atsuki actually might get caught here. This is the exhaust laid down by DN. Some damage going down. Very nice. Luminios has the red, unfortunately, so was not able to apply that. They're going to leave that minion? Yeah, they're going to leave that minion. Here's Tofu actually chasing down Sealy. Sealy's gotten very low. Actually, Tofu might go for the kill. No, he got the poison down. Flash Ignite with a basic attack might have actually done that. But now, what I like here is that Balls and DN are already back in lane. And they're going to be about half a level, maybe a whole level ahead of Atsuki.
Atsuki didn't go back, which I think is interesting.
Actually, yeah, it took Boots 3 pots and is now down to Boots 2 pots. So a little bit of a head start for Balls in the end on TKS. This bot lane could just be a farm lane, or it could be a really big fight lane. We'll have to see. Rekfi and Arbit Rage right now just trading farm. We do have a Cloth 5 opening from Rekfi on Irelia, though. So really trying to shut down 80 damage from 8-Bit. We'll have to see how 8-Bit builds, because if he does do that, oop, there's the stun, and there's the Tiger Stance proc, lots of damage there. If he does decide to go for the, what would that be, the Phoenix Stance build, it's a lot more magic damage heavy, and that Cloth Armor will have less of an impact. Actually, Rekfi taking a lot of damage already. This is the thing with Irelia, the first couple levels, she's kind of in this dangerous spot where Udira can do much more damage than she can in a short period of time.
Really bully her. And given that, I think it's sensible to start Cloth 5 on a character who gets better late game. You
Absolutely.
Really want to be safe early on.
Now here's a nice place. Actually, Atav, understanding that he has no upper jungle, there's a ping from Fairy Tail onto the red of Luminios. Looks like they want to steal. And they actually, 8-Bit Rage could absolutely come down to help them out there. They do have a ward in this brush right here, so they have seen Luminios starting on that red, but actually Atav's going to come out into the tri-brush. Either gank Rekfi, no, he's pretty pushed. He's actually going to come around for the steal on red. But it just got taken by Luminios. He's going to see Atav. They're level 3. He's going to run right by him and then tag him with red buff. Very smart play and then run, so he's got the speed boost. Atav, of course, does not have red buff to chase him down. And just being able to get both of those red buffs for Luminios is, I think, a pretty strong play. They're both at level 3 right now, so no real advantage to either jungler. No Wraith to steal there for Atav. Actually, he's just been walking around for a while, which is not too particularly good. He has started Regrowth Pendant, though, so Atav's going to have a nice start to do an earlier Philosopher's Stone. And, of course, we'll see Luminios not be building a Philosopher's Stone because she does not use mana. Rekfi's actually in a good place now. Rekfi has only used 2 health potions and is able to farm now at the tower, but we do see already the farm is heavily in favor of 8-Bit Rage. It's 21-10 right now, so this top lane is definitely going to be a big problem for TKS. A couple pings going down in bot lane. What do you think about these lanes now, Chili?
I think, though, Irelia is hurting a bit now. She'll probably be able to come back. I'm not too worried about that. I think mid is interesting. I'm always interested in lanes with several skill shot-based champions, and that's kind of what we have there. Jungle ganks are probably really strong in mid.
Absolutely. Although, A-Tab's going to have a gank that's a little bit more dependent on his ultimate, especially since he does not have red buff. So, for a Skarner to gank successfully without red buff, you know, level 6 is going to be a big difference for them. Luminius is actually now heading up. This is a great time to do it. Rekfi's pretty low. He's using his second to last health potion. Actually, did just take a Tiger Stance dot right there. But here's 8-Bit Rage. He might get caught out by Luminios here. He's low on mana. He does have his flash and ignite up though. There's the stun. Rekfi actually did not get the stun off before 8-Bit Rage was able to flash. I think the Q for Rekfi actually dropped his mana below. No, he had enough for Equilibrium Strike, so he could have actually stunned there, but the flash was too quick. So that's going to drive 8-Bit Rage out of lane, and unfortunately, this is not a great place to be as a top laner, because now Rekfi is forced with backing now, which he needs to do to be able to spend his gold and be able to survive against Udyr in the coming couple of minutes. But if he does back now, there's a potential that he's going to lose a lot of XP as this wave gets pushed against this tower. We do have the dragon already warded by Fairy Tail, and I do like that. One thing that we were talking about, I was talking about with my friend the Ulf earlier, is that the dragon is something that is paid so much attention to by, you know, really, really pro teams like the IEM Kiev teams in very early stages of the game. And in this tournament so far, one of the things we haven't seen from these teams is much attention to dragon. Like, the earliest dragons I think we've seen have been 14, 15, 16 minutes, where it's very possible to take dragon at as, you know, early as like 6 or 7 minutes if you have a very coordinated team. Here's Rekfi. He has not backed, but he has regenerated a lot of health. He's used his last health potion. He is pushing the lane in towards 8-Bit Rage. 8-Bit Rage actually, picking up the long sword, boots, and Dorans could be a little bit, put a little more pressure on Rekfi right now, but I think he understands that Rekfi's basically going to back anyway right now, so there's not a huge need to put that much pressure on.
Yep.
Let's look at the bot lane.
It's been a little back and forth, interestingly enough.
Angel is actually 10 CS on the balls, which is quite significant considering that balls was in lane first.
That's true.
We do have a Boots 3-pots start for both AD champions. I think that Graves is one of the champions that really, really benefits from having an early Dorans rather than Boots 3. But Angel's doing a really good job of last hitting. So I think Balls might have gone for the Dorans, but of course he is with Jan, who is a Jan. There's the exhaust on Angel actually, and gets caught up with the tornado. But there's the heal. Smoke Cloud does go down.